Welcome class 12. In this video, we are going to know about Harappan civilization, the strategies of procuring materials, seals, scripts, weights, and decline of civilization, Cunningham's confusion, and religion as well. This is the part 2 of Harappan civilization chapter. Strategies for procuring materials. Harappans established settlements such as Nageshwar and Balakot in areas where shell was available. Shortugai in Afghanistan for lapis lazuli, Lothal for carnelian, statite from Rajasthan and North Gujarat, and metal from Rajasthan. They sent expeditions to areas such as Khetri region of Rajasthan for copper and South India for gold. Recent archaeological finds suggest that copper was also probably brought from Oman. Mesopotamian texts datable to 3rd millennium BCE refer to copper coming from a region called Magan, perhaps a name for Oman. It is likely that communication with Oman, Bahrain, or Mesopotamia was by sea, as we find depictions of ships and boats on seals. Seals. Seals and sealings were used to facilitate long-distance communication. The sealing prevented the goods from being tampered and also conveyed the identity of the sender. Script. The Harappan script is enigmatic because it remains undeciphered to date. It has too many signs, somewhere between 375 and 400. It was written from right to left. Writing has been found on variety of objects such as seals, copper tools, rims of jars, copper and terracotta tablets, jewelry, bone rods, even an ancient signboard, the one that we have found from Dholavira. Weights. Weights were made of a stone called chert, which was generally cubical with no markings. The lower denominations of weights were binary, while the higher denominations followed the decimal system. Metal scale pans have also been found. Ancient authority. There are indications of complex decisions being taken and implemented in Harappan society, as if there was some sort of authority which was ruling the civilization. If we look for a center of power or for depictions of people in power, archaeological records provide no immediate answers. A large building found at Mohenjo-daro was labeled as a palace by archaeologists, but no spectacular finds were associated with it. A stone statue was labeled and continues to be known as the priest king. Some archaeologists believe that Harappan society had no rulers and everybody enjoyed equal status. Others feel there was no single but several rulers. Another group argues that there was a single state, given the similarity in artifacts, planned settlements, standardized ratio of brick size, and establishment of settlements near sources of raw materials. The end of the civilization. The causes for the end of civilization range from climatic change, deforestation, excessive floods, the shifting or drying up of rivers, to overuse of landscape. It appears that a strong unifying element, perhaps the Harappan state, came to an end. It is evidenced by the disappearance of seals, the script, distinctive beads and pottery, the shift from a standardized weight system to the use of local weights and decline and abandonment of cities. Discovering the Harappan civilization. The Harappan site was briefly excavated by Sir Alexander Cunningham in 1872-73. He found an Indus seal of unknown origin. The first extensive excavations at Harappa were started by Dayaram Sane in 1921. Mohenjo-daro was discovered by Rakhal Das Banerjee in 1922 when he found seals similar to Harappan seals. Based on these finds, in 1924, John Marshall, Director General of the ASI, announced the discovery of a new civilization in the Indus Valley to the world. Cunningham's confusion. Cunningham's main interest was in the archaeology of the early historic and later periods, which ranged from 6th century BCE to 4th century CE. He used the accounts left by Chinese Buddhist pilgrims who had visited the subcontinent between the 4th and the 7th century CE to locate early settlements. A Harappan seal was given to Cunningham by an Englishman. He noted the object and unsuccessfully tried to place it within the time frame with which he was familiar, because he, like many others, thought that Indian history began with the first cities in the Ganga Valley. Given his specific focus, it is not surprising that he missed the significance of Harappa. Classifying finds. Recovering artifacts is just the beginning of the archaeological enterprise. Archaeologists then classify their finds. One simple classification is in terms of materials such as stone, clay, metal, bone, ivory, etc. The second classification is in terms of function, whether an artifact is a tool or an ornament or both or something meant for ritual use. The third classification is in terms of resemblance with present-day things. Beads, querns, stone blades, and pots are obvious examples. The fourth classification is in terms of the context in which the artifact was found. The fifth classification is in terms of indirect evidence, such as we refer to the sculptures in order to know about clothing of Harappans. Sometimes archaeologists have to develop frames of reference. Religion. Many reconstructions of Harappan religion are made on assumptions that later traditions provide parallels with earlier ones. Terracotta figurines of women heavily jeweled is regarded as mother goddess. A rare stone statue of man in an almost standardized posture is regarded as priest king. Great Bath at Mohenjo-daro and fire altars at Kalibangan and Lothal depict ritual significance. Seals with plant motifs depict nature worship. Seals with Proto-Shiva motif indicate worship of Pashupati. Seals with unicorn motifs indicate that unicorn was considered sacred. Conical stone objects have been classified as lingas.